people dedicated to the United Kingdom, particularly on the Tier 2 skilled worker visa. And in that channel, we give different tips. They are not only legal tips, it's tips to do with everything in life in the United Kingdom. So I will be recording videos going through some of the tips that we have given through on this channel. Tip number one, take time off work. Many people have relocated to the United Kingdom to come into work, and as such, they've got projects that they've planned. People have planned to build businesses, acquire assets and properties in their home country and in the United Kingdom, and to acquire a lot of wealth. That is quite noble and good. But the danger of it might be someone might end up working and working and working and not giving themselves a rest. It is important for you to get a rest. It might be resting just for a weekend or a time off your work or a booking holidays. The human body is a machine that needs to rest. So you cannot continue working forever without resting. And it's also not good for your well being. It's not also good for your mental health. So, tip number one, as much as you work, please take time off work. On your time off work, you might decide to go on a holiday or to do certain activities. Even if you are away from work for a short period, there is a lot of activities and excursions that might be happening in your local area. Check in your local area. There might be trails for walking, nice parks that are there, cinemas, restaurants, and different things that you can do when you are time off. Try to relax and do whatever you can. You can do these things in your local area, in your county, or you can travel to anywhere in the United Kingdom. There's a lot of places, holiday places in the United Kingdom. There is a holiday resorts. Some towns and cities and counties are known for holiday. You can go to a holiday park, you can go to the beach, you can go mountain climbing, and so forth. If you think that that is very expensive, you might look at help that might be there on holidays. I know that in certain areas there could be charities that might help with holidays, or there might be, say, for example, a day trip that might be planned by a local excursions provider. You might say you are leaving Coventry in the morning on a coach and then come back to Coventry in the evening on the coach at a cheaper rate than the usual cost that might be there. So consider having a holiday in the United Kingdom or abroad. If you decide to travel, you might also have to know that it's important to have a travel insurance. It's also important to know that you have planned your holiday well in advance. If you plan it well in advance, then you will be able also maybe to get a cheaper holiday than as which is usual the price if you get it at the end. So my advice is on holiday, try to check locally. There's always things to do in your region, in your county, and even internationally, you can be able to go on a holiday. My third tip is on your faith. I understand that people have got different faiths. Could be Christian, Muslim, Hindu, different types of faith that people have. And it's important for people to believe in whatever they believe in. But however, it is also important to realize that as much as you believe in your own faith, people have got their own different faith. So it is important to know when you exercise your faith. If you are in a workplace, you have to realize that it is not necessarily a place to evangelize your faith. It might be allowed in a workplace, but check with the employer and the environment. You cannot just evangelize your faith to service users, clients, stakeholders, colleagues, and so forth. But if it's allowed, that's possible. My point here is you can have your faith, you can exercise your faith, but respect other people in their faith or non faith. The next tip that I have for you is on cancel tax. Here in the United Kingdom, there is council tax. It is a tax that is paid to the local council, whether you are renting a house or you own the house. It is paid by adults living in a particular accommodation. If it is a single adult person living in the accommodation, they might be entitled to a discount. If it's two or more adults, then the council tax will go up. Even though you're liable to pay tax, sometimes you have to look at it to see if you're exempt or excused from council tax. For example, if you are a student. If you are experiencing problems in paying council tax, do not just dig your head into the sand. Communicate with the council or seek help from authorities or charities that help with council tax matters. It is a tax that is not liked by everyone else, but the reality it is there. My tip is that check with your local authority if you're liable for council tax, and if you are liable, then you have to pay the council tax. Or if you are not liable, if you're exempt, then you'll be able to know. Ordinarily, the council will send you a bill or will send a bill to the property addressed to the occupants of that particular property. So check about the council tax in the property that you live or you reside. My last tip is on the education of your children. I realize that we come from different countries and each country has got its own education system. But when you're now in the United Kingdom, you need to adapt yourself to the British system of education. Children will normally go to school from the age of 3, 4 years up to the age of 16 years. And you will realize that some countries, children will start to go to school at a later age, so much that when they come to the United Kingdom, they may still be in primary education or they might be have moved to secondary education depending on their age. As a parent, you need to be involved in the education of your children. Most of the time, you will be asked to assist your child with the homework. Make sure that you help your child with homework. If possible, be involved with the school. You might become a school parent governor. You might become a person that is involved in, say, organizing sports or volunteering in whichever way is possible. Where you can have extra lessons for your child through facilities such as Common, private tutors, and so forth. Your education for your children, in my view, is paramount. Be involved in this country, particularly at the primary level. A parent is as much involved in the education of their child as much as the child is involved. So be involved in the education of your child. Sometimes when the children go to school, you might find out that they are entitled to free meals, or if they are not entitled to free meals and you cannot afford, talk to the school, talk to the council, talk and seek for help. Do not send your child to the school to spend the day hungry. And if you cannot afford to buy uniforms, again, with other certain schools, you might be able to get uniforms for free, depending if you meet the requirements, or you can get used uniforms at a relatively cheaper price. So, uniforms is something that you can consider as well because it's important that your child must also be looking proper, health, and well. This is my last tip. I'm Andrew from Tanlo Solicitors, and these are my Fairly weekly tips for this week. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll be back with you next week.